This shit up right here. What's going on, everybody? It's your favorite dating coach, Elliot Scott, in the Elliot Scott headquarters. I'm gonna fix some light blinding on. Whatever. In the Elliot Scott headquarters, and as you can see by the title below, we're going to talk about 5 signs, in my opinion. Now, take a couple of these with a grain of salt, that tell me, or show me at least, that the relationship has ran its course. Now, these are things I see happen often with clients. That's where I'm getting it from, pretty much, and because I know why these things are happening, the evolutionary psychology behind it. So, hold on, there's a girl behind me. It's so awkward to make a video. Awkward. She's like, "Who's that guy?" And is talking to himself. But I just know the reasons why these things happen, so I equate them to this, okay? Now, if you haven't yet, please subscribe. Just click the red button below. I'll love you forever with the little bell notification. And if you want to get a session with yours truly, the one and only, right? I'm not the only dating coach, but your favorite dating coach, link is down in the description, okay? So, number 1 is you're falling into a routine. Again, I want you to take this one with a grain of salt, because there's nothing wrong with routine and structure. I think that's just human nature to fall into it. We like it. It's comforting. But when you listen, there's life and then there's a relationship. When your relationship feels redundant, when it feels like it's a routine, there's a problem, because attraction is built by escalation, moving forward, progression, and things like that. That's how you build attraction. The reason two people to get together is not only because you like each other, but the benefits. Again, I say this in every video. It's what you add to each other's life. It's basically fulfillment. And if you're coming into a routine, which again, routine, in your life isn't bad, but when your relationship feels like a routine, I don't know why I'm doing that. Hopefully you're in a relationship, right? But your routine of a relationship, if it feels redundant, or you just lose attraction. I'm a big believer that not even moving forward or falling back, but if you're just content or you're stationary, when it comes to attraction, you're falling behind. Okay, so routine is number 1. Number 2, I would say, is a lack of investment or effort on his part. Now, this is common sense. You should have seen this coming, of course, but obviously, when he stops showing effort on his part, there's a problem. Now, again, this one I also want you to take with a grain of salt. I don't want you to get your sodium high. This is the only one I'm going to say take with some salt, or the last one I'm going to say, because guys do lose effort, right, and investments over time naturally. And what I mean by that is, yeah, he still should be showing it and it should be consistent, but in the beginning, he's always going to show the most. He's always going to show the most in the beginning, because guys, his job is to provide, satisfy, court you, win you over, prove himself, and things like that. So he is going to reach out more. He is going to contact you more. He is going to initiate. He is going to take all these things he's going to do. Okay, so it's going to go like this, right? And if it starts going like this, that's a problem. But if it goes like this and then it comes down here and mellows out, and if it mellows out, that's okay. And of course, like I said, you don't want to get into routine, so you kind of want to have some spikes and do some things. But if it goes like this and then it starts taking a big dive, that's a problem. Again, he's not going to keep up the intensity he had in the beginning. That's just not realistic. That's just not normal. That's a lot of resources to invest into something that's already pretty much won over, meaning like you're in mutual agreement that you like each other and you're attracted to each other. So he doesn't have to take you. So if your first date, for example, is a balloon ride, which would be pretty intense, he's not going to take you he's not going to try to top that the second date, the third date, the fourth. That's just not realistic. You got to watch your resources, okay? So if he's losing effort and consistency over time, that's a problem. The third one I would say is he's trying to find other ways to fill a void. And that, as you know, this would be a guy not, making excuses to see you, or wanting to go out with his friends more, or he's done talking to you and he wants to play video games instead, those kind of things. Just different ways of filling voids. As humans, we're always trying to find ways to fill a void, whatever that is, right? It could be from getting validation, it could be from you having something that he wants, so he wants you in his life, and things, whatever. If he's not seeking you for those, now when I say this, it's going to be hard to it's really hard to get into this, so I'm not going to get into it because it's I can make a whole discussion on it. But if he's not seeking you for certain things, again, it's hard to explain, I'm not going to get into it. And I don't mean that like sexually, I just mean like when people date, they date for several reasons. Again, it's my feelings for you versus the assets versus liabilities. If those assets that you had at one time were very important to him and now they're not, and he feels like he can get them elsewhere, or he just doesn't care, again, instead of spending time with you, he's going out with his friends all the time, which there needs to be a balance. Or, instead of spending quality time with you, he's playing video games. It just doesn't matter anymore. That's a problem, okay? The fourth thing is, I would say, arguing more. Again, people don't agree with me on this. I don't think couples should argue as much as they act. I mean, no, people agree with that, but arguing is not as normal. Let's put it like this. Yeah, arguing is not as normal as people think it is. Arguing is more of a clash, a lack of empathy, or a lack of understanding the other person's viewpoint, right? But if you're very open-minded, very calm, very, chill, and you care about the other person you're arguing with, then it's not, the arguing shouldn't be as drastic as it is, or as much as you all probably argue or have argued in your past. So what I'm trying to say is, when a guy starts arguing with you, there's reasons why. It's impatience, it's a lack of empathy, a lack of understanding, a lack of trying to find a solution, and things like that. And that usually comes from what I said back to number 2, which is a lack of effort and a lack of investment. Just think about it. When you're impatient, you get triggered easily. You get when you're impatient, you get angry. Hangry, for example. When you're hungry, you get pissed easily, right? It's just things like that. When there's a lack of desire, when there's a lack of empathy, a lack of understanding, communication, and things like that, I'm gonna say the guys, they might have the relationship might have ran its course because of what's going on, right? You shouldn't be arguing that much. And of course, number 5, I would say, is more on, it could be on him too, but I'm talking to you for this because this is a video for women, is you're seeking more reassurance. And he can too, right? But I'm talking to you, so I'm going to say you. Again, you can put him in place of this, but when both you start seeking reassurance, it's for validation. Hence, you need the validation for a reason. Okay, there's a reason you need the validation, and it's because something's not being fulfilled, right? The relationship, a great example of this is if 2 people were talking and dating and stuff, and at one time things were going great, and now you're sensing something's different. You're going to start asking something simple: what's wrong? That's how it starts. Are you okay? Things are a little different. Are you okay? You're acting different. Stuff like that, right? And again, so you're trying to seek this reassurance because a lack of fulfillment is being needed, and in a relationship, needs need to be met on both sides. He needs to be a better communicator. You need to be a better communicator. That's just how it is. Okay, so there you guys go. There's 5 things. I'm sorry I've been all over the place again. I'm outside in the cold. Give me an effing break. Okay, it's freezing out here, but this is the Elliott Scott headquarters. People are wanting the original location back in my videos, so here it is. I love you, ladies. Take care. If you haven't yet, please subscribe. Just click the red button below and get a session with me down in the description. Love you. Take care, and peace.